MGTOW here with you today. It is a bit of a gloomy Monday. Check this out. This is the sky outside here at the moment. Sky's kind of pretty, but still kind of crappy if you're looking at the overall scheme of things and you're about to drive as I am. Anyway, what I wanted to talk to you guys today about was a very interesting article that I saw about a man in Texas. Hey guys on the live stream, thank you for the thumbs up, brothers. I appreciate it. Love coming in and seeing those thumbs up get smashed and seeing the numbers rock up. It means the MGTOW message is getting out there. Now, oh man, there's 4 of you in the stream. I'm going to share something with you. Something really cool. You guys are going to love this, okay? As you know, I'm from Sydney, Australia. It's in New South Wales. So, dig this. Given that I am a man going my own way, that's what I'm talking about. So, hey Alex, hey Elvin. So what I wanted to talk about, as I said, I'm going to read you a couple of little snippets from this article. I think it's actually really cool, and I think this is, the guy who came up with this is brilliant. So it's an article on parenting.com. I've actually put the link down in the description below, and you can go and read it for yourself. But the title is More Single Guys Are Turning to Surrogacy to Become Dads. See where I'm going with this, guys? Now, this is written by a woman called Elena Donovan Mauer. I don't know what her political leanings are. I don't know what her views on parenthood or anything are, but it's a very interesting opinion piece. It says more single guys are turning to surrogacy to become dads. As surrogacy becomes more mainstream, some single guys are using it as a path to parenthood. It's not just women. Guys can feel their biological clock starting to tick too, and men who find themselves ready to start a family but don't have a partner are starting to turn to surrogacy to become dads. Now look guys, I know that our biological clock obviously lasts us a lot longer than it does tend to last a lot of women. It's just biology, it is what it is, not taking pot shots at anything here. But certainly, I think there's many of us out there who are already dads. There's many of us out there who want to be dads, but we just don't want to get fucked over and have that fatherhood ripped from us by someone who changes their mind about their feelings years down the track, or even 6 months down the track. You know what I'm talking about. I'll continue. Matt Morgan, 41, of Allen, Texas, is one of those guys. He's a single dad of 2 kids, a boy and a girl born 14 months apart and carried by 2 different surrogates. Morgan, who is a physician, said when he was in his 30s, he often dated professional women who weren't ready to have kids. Surprise, surprise. He began looking into surrogacy in his late 30s, and after a relationship didn't work out when he was 38, he decided to go forward with it. Mike F. just found your channel today. Love it, man. We need more anti-soy boy channels and info. Fuck Big Daddy Tyrone. 100%. Fuck Big Daddy Tyrone with my fist. Fuck Tyrone. Alright guys, give me a second. I'm just going to duck into the car because my battery is getting a bit low and this live stream is going to cut out unless I fix that. Shit, man. Give me 1 sec. My garage door opener is just inside on my bike. Beautiful. It's my baby there. My Kawasaki. Cool. Give me a second here, guys. Appreciate you hanging on. 9 in the live stream. Amazing. Thank you so much for joining, guys. Smash that thumbs up button. If you're loving the flavor over here at Sydney MGTOW, hit that subscribe button. Hey, CJ. And smash the bell next to it so you make sure you get all the notifications in due time. I'm a little bit shiny here today. I got sunburnt yesterday out on the boat. Totally worth it. And if the birthday boy from yesterday is watching, happy birthday again, my man. It was an amazing day. Thank you for keeping the vibe going. It was fucking awesome. Loved it. Motor City. Motor City. Yeah, you made it, man. Yeah, Charlie Brown. I copped 44.5 degrees on Sunday morning. It was crazy, crazy, crazy. But yeah, look, while I wait for my car to warm up and this AC to go, because I've just got to duck out and help a friend with some TV issues, let's finish off this article, shall we? So Matt Morgan, 41, of Allen, Texas, is one of those guys. He's a single dad of 2 kids, a boy and a girl born 14 months apart and carried by 2 different surrogates. Morgan, who's a physician, says when he was in his 30s, he often dated professional women. Hang on, nope, got to move forward with that. I've never been a high energy person, Morgan said. Energy declines with age. You need energy to take proper care of children. I agree with that. It was a rational consideration that I made. I felt I just couldn't keep waiting. Hey, MGTOW warrior. Now, how this process works by way of this article. Keep smashing that thumbs up, guys. I really appreciate it. Hit subscribe, share it on your Facebook. Let's get the word out there. For single men, becoming a dad through surrogacy requires an egg donor and a surrogate. Costs vary, but egg donation can cost about 10 grand, and the surrogate is generally compensated for about $25,000. When medical costs are added in, the total could come up to about $150,000. That's US, of course. If for any of my US brothers who are watching it, including Motor City, thanks for tuning in, brother. Morgan said his surrogacy journey began a little more than 2 years ago when his sperm was joined with donor eggs that resulted in 9 embryos. One was implanted in his surrogate using IVF, and 9 months later, his baby boy was born. The remaining embryos were frozen, and one of them was used for the second pregnancy. That time, Morgan worked with a surrogate who lived a little closer, across town instead of across the state. Hey, Mike F. So he could more easily make it to doctor's appointments and meetings with her, since he also had a new baby to care for. A new trend is the next title of this part of the article. Gail East, owner and director of Surrogate Solutions in Hewitt, Texas, the surrogacy agency that connected Morgan with the surrogates, says Morgan's story might not be one you hear every day, but it's certainly becoming more prevalent. Well, gee, what a surprise. We're not a huge agency, and we've probably worked with 3 single dads, and right now we're working with a couple more of them, East said. 3 or 4 years ago, we didn't see any at all. The dads she seemed interested in surrogacy are like Morgan, professionals who are financially stable and want to remain that way, and ready to settle down, but they haven't found a partner yet. They're single guys who've been working in a career, saving money and becoming more financially secure. It's very doable for them, says East. In the past, there was the stereotype of mums raising a family, but they're seeing same-sex couples with families, and now watching other guys go through this process will probably give more single guys the courage to do this. East says the surrogacy process for a single man isn't different than it would be for anyone else. The men just don't have that extra step. Sorry, the men do just have that extra step, firstly, of finding an egg donor. Surrogates do get to choose who they carry babies for, and East thinks there may be some who choose not to work with a single dad, mostly because their husbands or partners could find the situation awkward. Charlie Brown, maybe. Hey, Escamois, and appreciate that's MGTOW Warrior for sharing that on Google+. Being a single parent is certainly a challenge, says Morgan, but he does it with a support system. Close friends and his mother live nearby and are willing to pitch in when he needs help. He hired a daytime nanny after he did the math and figured out it would cost about the same as having both children in daycare. I don't think this would be plan A for anybody in my situation, but it's a great plan B and alternative for them, he says. And what about dating? While Morgan isn't dating anyone right now, he hopes to meet more people as his kids get older. I haven't given up on marriage, Morgan says. I would just be doing it in a different order. Children and then marriage instead of the traditional way. I have no regrets. Okay, now that's the end of that article. Let's reflect on that for a moment, guys. Alex Bizzari, too many single mothers out there living off Big Daddy Tyrone. It's all about resources. Feminism equals Marxism. Exactly, Alex. Totally agree with you. If you go back, Alex, if you didn't see it already, go check out my video on redistribution of wealth. It talks all about Big Daddy Tyrone taking the resources from us men and handing it to the women's. Now, yes, if there's any ladies watching the stream, if YouTube moderators, I know, there's plenty of independent women out there who are making their own money and they don't need a man. Okay, I got it. It's cool. I'm not having a dig at women as a gender. I'm not being sexist. I'm just calling shit how it is, okay? So, I'm just saying that the majority of men earn the majority of money overall for whatever reasons you want to pick out, whether you want to call it patriarchy, whatever. I don't care. Okay, but that's the facts. Men earn the majority of money. Women are given the majority of money in social services. Period. It's just fact. Right, there's no arguing it. So look, Big Daddy Tyrone is the redistributor of wealth. Takes out of the one pocket, puts into the other. Okay, let's all agree on that. So now it's my time to reflect on that article that I've just spoken about. As I did mention before, there's a lot of men out there that are already dads. They might want more kids, but they just don't want to have their heart torn out through their wallet the way that they might have already. Maybe they're concerned about the risk. Maybe they've had too many red flags from the women they've dated, and they see what's coming if they don't take it easy. And I think that for a man, sorry guys, I was just driving away from the house and the Wi-Fi was still connected. You know, for some reason, right in the media, even if it's not, you know, right in the live stream. If you go and check out my other video, Silence is Power, there's some things that you need to do by stealth, and I really believe this is one of those things. It's very important that we get that message out there, though. Can I suggest buying a Rode Smart Lav mic for my camera? Made around $75. Charlie, definitely would like to do that. I've been pouring majority of my resources into clearing my debt from my separation last year. So almost done with that, and that will be one of the first things that I will actually go for once that's done. So yeah, look, that's another system. So I'll definitely get a mic, guys. I'm sorry about the crappy audio. It's just, it is what it is for now. But yeah, for men who want to be a dad, but they don't want to get fucked over, they don't want to get screwed around by way of child support, and particularly for you guys in the US, in Australia we do have what's called spousal support or something like that, but it has a limited time frame. I know in the US, some of the states that you guys live in are completely fucking cucked, and it's bullshit for you guys, and I'm so sorry that you have to deal with that shit and pay for a woman's lifestyle for the rest of their life in some instances, and they can come back for more later if you start earning more. Absolute joke. America is fucked in that regard in many states, and the ripple effect of the ripple, or maybe the boulder falling in the water and creating a tidal wave effect, is what I hope to achieve through what I'm aiming to do in Australia, and hopefully that will follow on to the US. Again, I'm not going to talk about what I'm going to do or how I'm going to do it, but changes need to happen, and I will fight until that happens. Yeah, Charlie, probs are not, hey. It's mostly the women that tend to get paid time off. There are a lot of companies now that are starting to give longer paternal leave, but it is not mainstream. It is not mandated by law, and it is certainly not the status quo. So, you know, if you find that yearning to have children, if you find that yearning to raise kids and, you know, be that father and that role model for those kids that you are going to choose to raise, and you're finding yourself in a situation where, well, do I go out and settle for a partner that is showing the red flags of hypergamy? And hey, Irish MGTOW, and you know, guys, this is the thing, right? I'm not blaming. We can sit here and blame women all we want for being hypergamous, but I'm not going to do that, because they're not actively going out and saying, I'm going to be hypergamous and I'm going to fuck these guys over. It is inherent. It's in biology. It goes way back through evolution. From an evolutional perspective and biology, women have from their DNA, from conception, they're predisposed to search for a provider, to search for someone masculine and alpha. And yes, there's going to be girls out there who are lesbians that don't search for a guy. Yes, there's going to be some people out there who don't feel that predisposition. But overwhelmingly, women seek out a man who, subconsciously, they seek out a man who can provide for them. They subconsciously seek out a man that will be strong and be able to protect them. They subconsciously seek out a man who is able to, you know, give them good genes. Like they'll look for guys with attractive characteristics, like, you know, good upper body strength, nice eyes, all of these things. It's inherent. They're not trying to do this. It's biology. And I did a video the other day on biology versus sociology. Anyone who disagrees with me on this point, please go and watch it. It will give you some insight into where I'm coming from here. I'm not attacking anybody. And, you know, when men realize what it is, Tommy Nilsson, am I in the red pill stage? Oh, mate, I am. No, dude, not at all. Not at all. I've gone through the red pill rage. I'm way past that. I'm just in the like, I've totally accepted things. I know how it is. I understand. I'm not gonna fight against I'm not gonna fight against a dragon that tries to burn me with fire when I try to fight it. Right, what I want to do is find some common ground with the dragon. I want the dragon to understand that I'm not here. I don't hate you, okay? I'm not trying to fight against you. I'm not trying to kill you. I'm trying to work with you, because I'm trying to let the dragon know that if you keep breathing fire on me and all the other guys, then guys are going to stay away from you. And that's what's happening right now. The fire dragon of feminism is making guys turn away from relationships. It's making us go MGTOW. And you can argue with me all you want. You can say, oh, you know, MGTOWs are misogynist, MGTOWs are just male feminists. And MGTOW Critic just did a video the other day. It's one of his first videos. And he said that we are akin to male feminists. I don't think you quite understand, MGTOW Critic, what a male feminist is, okay? Feminist is someone who practices feminism. Feminism, by dictionary definition, and I'm not going to go by the Merriam-Webster dictionary, who last year named feminism the word of the year, because that dictionary is completely cucked, okay? I'm going by the Oxford Dictionary, which is probably one of the more trustworthy ones. And I even went to an Oxford Dictionary from 25 years ago when I went home to my parents' place for Christmas. And that definition between then and the Oxford Dictionary I received in the mail weeks ago, the latest edition, the definition has not changed even one letter. By definition, feminism is the advocacy of women's rights, right? Some people say the advocacy of women's rights on the grounds of equality of the quality of the sexes. That doesn't mean it is equality of the sexes. It just means that it's advocating women's rights on the grounds of the equality of the sexes. Tommy, 100%. Male feminists, big red flag, because they are typically the guys who don't understand what it is to be truly masculine, because if they did, they would fight for their fellow men and fight for fairness. These are typically the betas who found that the only way they can get in a woman's good graces enough to get into their pants is to pretend to advocate for the same rights as them. But even then, they don't get into the pants. And then when they try, they end up being one of the guys, they end up being one of the statistics, one of the guys who gets, you know, charged with sexual harassment or a rape allegation for consensual sex, you know, because the person afterwards regretted it. And again, whoever's listening to this, I'm not saying that everyone who gets raped makes false allegations, okay? The genuine victims of rape need to be looked after. But those genuine victims of rape have been undermined by the people who lie about it. Make no mistake, women lie about these things when there's benefit in it that is beneficial enough for it to be worth the risk for them to get found out about the lie. Okay, let's move on. So I'm going to get back to the topic, because, you know, I could go on all day. You know, I could rant for hours. I'm not going to do that. I want to try and keep it topic. I want to try and keep these videos fairly focused. I will divert from the original topic from time to time, but that's cool. And definitely more companies are going to start using film and CCTV to record all office interactions as a result of the Me Too movement. Absolutely, 100% agree with you. But yeah, look, in a nutshell, many of us want to be protectors. We want to have kids, but we just don't want to get fucked over in the process. So what a lot of men are going to start doing, particularly in America, especially when they start to see what this guy and other guys are doing over in America, especially Texas, which is where this article came from. For those of you who have just joined the stream, hit the thumbs up. Thank you so much. A lot of guys are going to be, you know, going and getting a baby through surrogate, you know, and going to a surrogacy agency and picking out a woman whose genes they want to perhaps reproduce with by way of eggs, and fertility, or finding a donor out there that won't have any legal rights to that child. Because the moment a woman has legal rights to the child, they also have legal rights to your money when they separate. Make no mistake, especially in America, especially all over the Western world, the family courts will grant women money if they get custody, and they do overwhelmingly grant custody to women in the instance of separations. And women are not held accountable, and neither are men, but men aren't the ones that typically do this kind of thing. Men and women are not held accountable if they do tell lies about abuse happening in their household. And abuse allegations that are aimed towards men are more often believed than abuse allegations towards women. So if you want to avoid that whole scenario, and you want to have a situation where if you do decide that you want a relationship and you do end up going off with a woman and you do end up finding someone down the track, you do it after you already have the kid and they don't have any DNA trace back to that child. Because if they don't have any DNA trace to that child, they don't have, hey Danish, they don't have any claim to that child. And if they don't have a claim to that child, then they don't have a claim to child support. They don't have a claim to any of these things. You know, it's just not on the cards for them. So they can't use the child later on as a pawn to obtain resources from you. I think a lot of men are going to start to go for the option surrogacy when they find out the benefits that it entails. Hey MGTOW Samson, the benefits that it entails and how much risk it mitigates. Right? Because with 60 to 70% roughly of divorces finishing in the Western world, I'm going to pull over for a moment here because I want to be able to look at what you guys are saying in the live stream safely and legally. I am pulled over to the side of the road now. As you can see, there's no movement. I've got the bank over here. Guys, I want you to do things on your terms. I want you to understand before you go have a child, before you take on surrogacy, before you get into a relationship. Cool, thank you for the tip, Charlie. Before you get into a relationship with a woman who has children, look at what the laws are in your state. If you have to, if you know that you're going to have a baby with a woman, or if you're even to think about it, if you know that you're going to get into a relationship with a single mother, right? And I'm sorry, single mothers, but I advise men against getting into a relationship with you, purely because there is the baggage of the ex. I know that you women, if you met a guy with a child who had the baby mama getting child support, it's a very, very difficult situation and it's a hard thing for you to take on, right? So I know most of you wouldn't want to get into a relationship with a guy that's got the baggage. And we're not being dicks. It's just the same with the genders flipped, okay? We don't want the baggage either. You don't want it, we don't want it, all right? We're not picking sides here. Not being a dick. I'm just calling it how it is. This is nature, right? This is human nature, period. Flat, no ifs or buts. Keeping on 1,000, as Chris Cantu says. Yeah, and Charlie, you raise a very, very good point. It's not worth dealing with single mothers. You will never be able to discipline or smack it because you're not the real father. Even if you're providing for this child, even if you're providing for the mother of this child, you are not in a position where you can discipline it if the mother doesn't feel that your style of discipline is the one that she would like to employ. So even if she hasn't disciplined the child properly, and then you turn around and say, well, you know, we actually need to instill some values and some discipline in this child to make sure that they behave as a functioning member of society that's not a complete dick, whether that child be a son or a daughter. You know, the mother can turn around and say, you know, he's not your child. You can't tell me how to raise my child. And this is the thing, man. Any child that a woman has with anyone else, or any child that woman has with you, will, in her mind, because it came from her womb, always be her child. Literally, her child. Tommy, oh man, look, I'm just talking on the phone. I'm not looking at the screen. As long as I don't have any distractions, it's within the scope of what I'm allowed to do. Certainly, I do pull over when I'm looking at the screen. You know, whenever I look this way, you know, I've got to check my rearview mirrors, which are just over here. You know, I can't help that my eyes do gloss past the screen sometimes. Sometimes I catch things out of the corner of my eye even when I'm not looking. So again, as you can see, guys, I am stationary. I just sometimes I have to do these videos while I travel because I just don't have enough hours in the day. But I have enough hours in the day for you men. I have the time for you men. I take the time. It's important to me. that I'm here for you every single day, streaming every single day. And if and when YouTube takes away my streaming privileges or gives me a strike, I'm gonna have to start making videos and then uploading them and editing them, which is gonna be even more time consuming, but I'll still do it for you men, because I love you all and I'm here for you and I'm fighting for you. I need to get this message out to you. Danish MGTOW, society is poisoned by single mums. Guys, I just want to keep it real here, right? I'm not talking out my ass. This is statistical fact. The majority of people committing crimes in Australia and across the Western world are the product of broken families and single mothers. And I'm not saying that some single mothers don't do their best to give, you know, that child whatever they can give them and try and do the best for their kids. Okay, I'm not saying that. There are some that do and there's some that don't. We're not picking straws here. What I am saying is that it doesn't matter how much you've provided for your child. It doesn't matter how much you love your child. It doesn't matter, you know, how much time you dedicate to your kid and how much you sacrifice. You are not a father and you cannot teach a mother how to be a man. The man, no doubt, raised by a single mom. My family's all fucked up, man. Like, I feel you, brother. You know, like, and I'm not saying your mom did a bad job at being a mother, but she can't ever be a father. This is what I'm saying, and this is the problem. Fathers are being removed from homes because mothers are being given financial incentive to remove the father, even if they have to lie about it. Because the less time that a kid spends with their father, the more time they spend with the mother. And the more time they spend with the mother, the more child support they get. Do you see where I'm going here, guys? Biologically, women want a provider, right? That's what they're attracted to. But when they meet the provider, when they meet the good-looking guy, and he can't lay the dick down, and he can't be the alpha, and he's working long hours, and he can't be there to entertain her, she loses attraction to him. And this is biology, right? I'm not calling women out for this. This is just biology. It's how it is. Just fucking giving you guys some real talk, right? But then they find their new provider, Big Daddy Tyrone. Big Daddy Tyrone comes along and he goes, "Oh baby, here you go. I got the money. You know what? I'm gonna go to that ex partner of yours. I'm just gonna take some of his money. I'm gonna give it to you, and then I'm gonna give you a little bit more. I'm just gonna give you some love, and you know it's okay. You don't have to deal with him being around. Big Daddy Tyrone's here to protect you and keep him away." Most of them don't need protection. They want to be provided for. And the more they can get by way of sidling up to Big Daddy Tyrone, and the more they can get by keeping children away from their parents, so that the other parent will have to pay more child support. Are you really surprised? Our laws enable this. So when we look at the cost as a man of having a surrogate child, $150,000 US. Some women are saying, "Oh, well, you know, it just seems awfully expensive to go and have a child." You ask any divorced man that's had kids, that's been successful, that has assets, or had assets. Big distinction between has and had, okay? Ask any divorced man that had assets, that had kids, that had a family, and even had a devoted wife, that no longer has a devoted wife, no longer has his kids, and no longer has his assets. You ask me if he'd be prepared to pay $150,000 to be guaranteed that he'll keep all of his assets, and guaranteed that he'll keep his kids 100% of the time, and never have them taken away from him unless he abuses them. And no one has a motivation, no one has any incentive in that dynamic to accuse him of abusing the kids. So it's not going to happen. So you can be I'm just going to put this to you, right? In Texas, I don't know, like we're going to look into do the research in other states, but in Texas, pay 150 grand, keep all of your assets, always keep your kids. Tommy Nielsen, my dad kept all his assets. True, but Tommy, that's not every dad, right? That's a best case scenario, right? Alex, you're right. They settle for the beta first and then they ride the alpha carousel to get the best genetics. It's proven that when women are ovulating, they will be attracted to the alphas, right? And that's when they're like most fertile, and it's the only time of the month they can actually conceive a child. Are you getting this, guys? It's biology. So for most men that have been through a divorce, if I say, look, for $150,000, I will guarantee you that you will never have your assets taken from you from a wife that may leave. 70% chance that your marriage is going to break up, and probably about 80 to 90% chance you're going to lose a bunch of your shit. So most people are going to go, fuck man, if I can pay you money to make sure that there's no bullets in the revolver when it gets aimed at my head and the trigger gets clicked, guys are going to go, that's a good deal, right? Why would I risk losing a lot more than 150 grand to maybe not have a bullet in the cylinder when the trigger's pulled, when I can pay 150 grand? It's like, okay, guaranteed, keeping 100% of my assets, keeping 100% of my child custody, having 100% control over my life. This is the ultimate risk versus reward, because there's no reward and there's all risk. You pay 150 grand and that's guaranteed, that shit's locked in, okay? If they ever invent a sex female robot with AI, natural born women can be replaced outright. Look, Charlie, man, I know what you're saying, and I agree with where you're coming from, but you know that it can be replaced overnight for the monks amongst us who just don't want to deal with the nature. For those of us who can deal with the nature but don't want to deal with the risk. For those of us who are red-blooded men, we just want to, we still want to have sex, you know, we still want to feel that with a woman, but we just don't want the risk. That's when this kind of situation is perfect, absolutely perfect. And we have the absolute peace of mind to know that we're going to live happy. Tommy, you know what? How are you not fired from your job for not pumping out feminist content? Man, Tommy, I've only been at this for a couple of weeks, bro. Well, close to a month, right? But this is long term, right? This isn't something I'm going to do for a month and back out. I am fighting this to the death. I'm taking on Big Daddy Tyrone. You guys don't know what's going on behind the scenes, and I can't say. But what I can tell you is that I will fight till my dying breath to ensure that fairness is restored to fathers in Australia. And when fairness is restored to fathers in Australia and men in Australia who aren't even fathers yet, I guarantee you that's going to send shockwaves through the Western world. It's going to send shockwaves. Right? UK, America, not Canada because they're completely cucked. Sorry, Canadians, but you know, you got Trudeau as your Prime Minister, so lucked out, bros. Lucked out, brothers. But the Western world is going to stand up and pay attention. Thomas, you keep what you came into the relationship with, but anything you acquire from there on in is fair game for a divorce settlement. If you have children after them, the law will also come up. But yeah, 100%. Look, you're best to have your kids first. Charlie, I want to do a MGTOW conference in Australia. Yeah, so guys, you're best to have your kids first. Once you've had the kids, that's okay. Have the kids, get the snip, get this is a snip. The shit's not that expensive, right? Get the snip, get it tied, do whatever you have to do to ensure that you cannot get a woman pregnant. And when you tell them when you tell that person that's spotted your assets and is becoming hypergamous, when you tell them, oh look, I don't think this is working out because I don't see this working long term, when they call you a week later and they say, oh, I'm pregnant, click, fuck off. Because we know the tricks, we know the traps, boys. We know the traps, man. We're not falling into it anymore. We're too smart for this shit. We know how it goes now. Keep listening to my channel. You know more and more every day if you don't already know it all. The shit is real, guys. And we've got to protect ourselves. Anyway, man. Trudeau is the queen cuck of the soy boys. Mike F, absolutely. Trudeau is the ultimate queen of soy. She is the soy queen of the soy world order, which is permeated Canada most strongly first. He is a proud male feminist. He is a soy boy. He's the cuck queen. He is all of the above. He has he's got a swimming pool out the back of his house and it's got like, it's this beautiful blue pool, but there's not actually any water in there. It's just blue pills. It's just blue pills, you know, about halfway topped up with soy. So when he takes his blue pills, they're all soy infused. Also, yeah, Charlie, true that. Mike, the dude takes blue pill suppositories all day. Absolutely he does, 100%. Charlie, I also recommend men go listen to Tom Leykis radio show Bits on YouTube. He speaks the truth as well. Absolutely. Tom Leykis 101. The guy is an absolute weapon. He's a machine. He shuts women down all day long. Women call in, they come to yell at him, and they end up getting off the show agreeing with him because he speaks the truth, and they can't argue what he has to say, you know. And this is the difference between being rational and being emotional, right? And there's both men and women that get irrational and emotional, but you know, for this particular show, he obviously only takes women callers that are being emotional because it's great entertainment value. What can you do? Thomas, the kids are the issue in Australia. The government will do whatever it can to ensure it doesn't have to pay for your offspring. Absolutely, Thomas. Go watch my video on the redistribution of wealth. I totally agree with you, 100%. Big Daddy Tyrone is taking the money out of our pockets and putting it into their pockets. Scott, some MGTOWs are going to Canada and getting a surrogate to carry a child from an egg donated by a European, so the child has multiple mothers, and then bringing the child back to Australia. Very, very smart move. Means that they're as far away from anyone who may have claim to that child biologically as possible. A few girls listen to Tom Leykis, they removed me from Facebook. Absolutely, it's just how it is. Probably didn't need those particular women there anyway. Badge, yeah, it's a great idea. It's a fucking awesome idea. You know, if it just makes sense, guys. If you want to become a father, but you don't want to have the headaches and the stress that causes a lot of men to go MGTOW and causes a lot of men to kill themselves, then that's what you do. Anyway, man, yep, Ronaldo did use a surrogate as well. Smart guy. Because if he got a girl pregnant, that's his money gone. 100% she's coming after it when she decides she wants to leave and go into another man. Because, he's not around enough. He's always traveling. Yeah, he's always traveling. And he's making millions for you so you can live the lifestyle while he travels. Right? Yeah, he gets money for himself too, but it's not going to be his for much longer because you're going to take it when the divorce happens. And we know this. It's how it goes. Anyway, man, tuning out. I got to bounce. Thank you for tuning in, everybody. I really appreciate it. If you're a first-time viewer or you haven't subscribed yet, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell down the bottom. Flick me an email at sydneymgtow@gmail.com. In the description below, I got my Patreon and my PayPal if you guys want to donate so I can do things like, you know, keep doing this daily content for you, but with a better mic, upgrade my equipment. Every single cent that I get from you men goes back into the cause. I don't take a cent from you for my own shit, right? It's all for you men, right? Because I love you and I appreciate you and you're important to me. That's why I do it. Red Pill Day will keep the divorce lawyers away, absolutely. Anyway, guys, tuning out. Thank you for tuning into the stream today. Appreciate it. Look forward to seeing you next time. Be on again tomorrow with a new topic. There's always plenty of fodder every day. Even doing daily videos, I can't do videos quick enough to keep up with all the topics that I get flying in. So if you've got any really good or really thought-provoking topics you want me to discuss, feel free to drop me a line to my email with a topic request. If you feel the desire to flick me a donation as well via crypto or PayPal or Patreon, I would really love that. I really appreciate it. It all goes back into the cause. And brothers, peace. Sydney MGTOW out for another day. I will speak to you all soon, and I'm gonna tune out now so you can keep driving. Love you all, guys. Peace.